Maximize Your Referrals is the course that we're going through for Dream Team Network members. And the focus here is become highly referable and create long-term alliances so that you can have a steady stream of high quality referrals every week. And that's the litmus test we're going to keep coming back to, is how many quality referrals are you receiving a week? If it's low, that's a problem. If it's zero, that's really a problem. So that is the objective, is to fix that here in this course and really do a lot of heavy lifting in this first module here. So of course, referrals convert 3 to 5 times higher than any other marketing channel. And the thing that I'd like to speak about in this today is, if you've ever had a call where somebody booked in your calendar, maybe you talked to them before, they booked again, and then all of a sudden, like minutes before, they decline the event. No words, no email, no message, no nothing. If you've ever felt something like that, let me know. I mean, just, give me a little nod. It happens when we're dealing with different types of people. And recently that happened. I was like, you know what? This was not from like a referral of somebody inside the Dream Team Network. And if it was, I bet it wouldn't happen. Because if I was being referred by a friend, there's no way I wouldn't even do that to begin with. But even then, it's like, you want to respect who referred us. And so that's one of those things that I find all these benefits of referrals. Yes, they convert higher, but the meetings are more smooth. Your time is protected. Your insights are protected. So that's what I'd like to have in here today with the energy. So first, we're in module 1, which is you become highly referable. Next month, we're going to go into allies, leverage your network. And then 3 is alliances, generate endless referrals. So getting into module 1 here today, of course, I'm Sebastian Cruze, and our agenda for the 75-minute workshop is our welcome and introduction, which we have right now. Phase 1, we're going to go into your expertise and style. And that's the thing. Everybody's multi-passionate, multi-talented. So how do we clarify that and be clear so that people remember and then they can refer you? Phase 2, we'll go into focus and credibility. Number one thing you want referrals for, and your credibility to back that up. Phase 3, the free gift that you have that is enticing for people to share your work and is easy for people to take the next step with you. And then we'll go ahead and update the profile that you have in our community area as well. And we'll bring it all home, recap it for next steps. And this is all focused on helping you be easy to refer. Because are we hard to refer right now, or are we easy to refer right now? We want it to be easy. So the problem that we're addressing here is, like I shared, not getting high quality referrals every week, which makes me feel like this. So how many referrals are you getting this week? And now you can just take a mental note, and it's personal, so we're not going to put in the chat or anything. Just, thinking past this week, how many referrals did you get in your email inbox, or a 3-way intro through LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or whichever? If it's low or none, that's what we want to solve here. And what I find here is that if that's not happening, people can't easily say what we do. Maybe they love the work that we do. Maybe they've had an amazing experience, but when it comes to sharing it with somebody else, it sounds something like this, which is, oh man, Amy's amazing, and she does all this work, and it's so impactful for me, and boom. So not singling out Amy, just sharing Amy because I know you do amazing work, like all of us, and I saw your video here on top. So if that's ever happened to you, we want to solve that, and we can solve that so that people love what we do, and they know these simple keywords to share that's natural for them that gets referrals. And people, or maybe people do refer, but it's not the right type. And so you want to have that targeting where it's high quality referrals every week so that your time is protected. All right. So what I recommend is making a note of 1, 2, or 3. Which one feels most relevant for you right now? And actually let me know in the chat. 1, 2, or 3, you can put in the chat. Which one feels most relevant for you today and this week? Because that'll give us targeting here. And we got a 1 on the board. People not being able to say what we do. A 2, people love what we do, but they don't refer. It's like there's a missing link there. got another one, got a number two, got a three. People do refer, but it's not the right type, which is like, oh, thank you, but bummer. So let's go ahead and solve these here. So before we get into breakout rooms, something I like to share is, of course, clarity is the key for our referrals. And I have this quote from Jim House, who's a fellow Dream Team member, which is be clear over clever. Be clear over clever. I heard him say this in Dream Team member Alex Moscow's mastermind like 8 years ago. And I was like, huh, this is interesting. But to be completely honest, I still had resistance around it. I was still around in the phase of like fancy marketing, fluffy lingo in my messaging. So like I heard it, but like I didn't fully internalize it until years and years later of just seeing how the clarity worked. Made more money, made more impact, protected my time, all the things that I wanted. So a concept that I've been seeing with people with all the referral flow that's been happening is I feel like there's a doorway in people's minds. I feel like there's multiple doorways. And for example, if somebody has the question in their mind, what is it? What is it? I feel like that's a doorway that no matter what we talk about, it doesn't make sense. No comprende. So if you've ever had a scenario like I've had, where I'm sharing what I'm doing, the person's nodding, they're saying okay, and I'm like, okay, this is going great. Boom, boom, boom. Minutes are passing by, sharing all these things. This is our passion, this is our love that we're sharing. And then maybe 5-10 minutes go by, and they go, so what do you do? And I'm like, what? I just said it. They're like, okay, well, what is it? And I'm like, well, it's this, and we do this, and it's so boom and unique. Okay, what is it? And I'm like, oh, it's coaching. Oh, okay. It's referrals. Oh, okay. And so that I believe is a door that opens. And each of these, just like a key, has keywords. And we're testing many things. Like literally, this is what I found to be the most effective for me, and definitely try out what feels right for you. Is people will ask, hey, what do you do? I say referrals. Like I've learned in all the testing I do, I literally lead with the keyword because I found that to be the fastest for me. And then I say referrals. Like, oh, I have a referral network for mission-driven thought leaders at 6 and 7 figures. And so opening those doors of what is it? What does it do? It helps thought leaders grow their business with referrals and key alliances without transactional swaps, time-wasting meetings, or costly marketing spend. Okay, that's what it does. Is it for me? Well, we're on a mission uniting thought leaders to help USA be #1 in wealth and health so that we can lead by example as a nation and be the rising tide that lifts all ships. Should I respect it? Well, referrals convert 3 to 5 times higher than any other marketing channel. And in my experience of being a mastermind leader for 8 years and my past lead gen experience of generating over $15 million for clients through passive income systems, I pour that into generating our leads. Will it work for me? Is it values aligned? So these are examples of doors. And in my experience, and definitely test out what feels right for you, I've found that like if I'll get stuck on a door, like if I don't communicate, is it for me? Like I could be talking about anything else, but it's all goes back to that one. So I would say right now, notice, where do you feel like the energy is getting stuck in your conversations? Is it the what is it? Is it what does it do? Is it for me? Should I respect it? Will it work for me? Is it values aligned? Just taking note of which one feels like the top block for you. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Whatever is most helpful for you. Because what we're going to do in the rest of the time is just really simplify this together as well in breakout rooms. All right. And while I just have this on the screen for a minute, Reprez says, what about being cleverly clear though? Test it out. Test it out. And that's a beautiful thing, everybody here, is that I'm sharing from my experience, and the way that we improve faster together as a team is that we all try it out, follow your intuition and then report back with what's your findings. Speaking about findings, what is the next step is actually here. People don't know the next step with us, then they don't refer. So people who had mentioned, like, I believe it was number 2 on the list before, people love what you do, but they don't know the next step that they can introduce people with, then that happens as well. So right now, the question is, what is the number one thing you want referrals for right now? And let's go ahead and put this in the chat, because I've found this to be so helpful for clarity. Of all the things that you do, the wonderful offerings that you have, what's the one thing that you want referrals for right now? And as you put that in, this will be good to also, get the referral energy flowing as well with everybody here. And as you have some time to write that down and write it in the chat, Dimitri says one of the key blocks that he noticed is it for me? Surprisingly, the top block. I think mostly based on the perception that they can't afford us / intimidating pricing. That's really interesting. Yeah, I see that because you guys definitely have premium packages. Interesting, cool. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that'll make it more helpful for me to refer as well, like what your solution is to them. Mike Ligori with his podcast agency mentions clients from a podcast and media growth companies is number one. Andrew Murdoch, event organizers hosting business events, because he's looking to get on more stages in front of professionals and business owners. So if you got high quality stages, hit up Andrew Murdoch. Amy Collette says, first time authors for my small cohort in January. Great, super helpful. Kristen Gravitz, service-based business owners who are looking for fractional CFO services. Yeah, so keyword I sense there's fractional CFO services. Fractional CFO services. Yep, and then we've got Tim, affiliate partners for a launch / holiday giveaway or a new premium year-long tech program. Absolutely, okay. And we'll bring it home with Dimitri. So number one thing you want referrals for right now is direct clients, so personal or company brands, especially 7 to 8 figure law firms looking to rebrand or upgrade their website. Okay, very good. So, and then Doug Crow, I'm looking for business owners or founders who want high-level relationships or channel partners or alliances. Fantastic. Okay, so now with that clarity, let's get into the expertise and style. The expertise and style. So in my experience, what I've found is that I recommend being boring with what you do and be unique with how you do it. Be boring with what we do, be unique with how we do it. So in my case, referrals. It's boring, nothing revolutionary, but that's good. People can understand. With unique with how I do it. I bring in mission, I bring in the soul contract, bring in human design, bring in systems and time freedom. So that's my unique style of how I do it. And before that, when I was, really niching into mastermind groups like that was the same thing. Mastermind groups, boring, unique how I did it with the exact ways that I, do it, what I just shared. So with you, let's think about your expertise, which is boring. And then we'll get into the style. So what are 1 to 3 keywords that describe the expertise that you want referrals for? 1 to 3 keywords that describe what you want referrals for. Like I shared, referrals, mastermind groups, branding, holistic fitness, digestion health, podcast marketing, podcast agency, personal brand websites. And as you think through this, we'll go ahead and put it in the chat here, because I have a directory that's being built right now for all of us. And we can see some examples here. And the reason why I recommend 1 to 3 keywords is because other people don't remember anything else. And if you ever found something like that too, where you're like, oh, I do this, and the person just says, oh, person does masterminds. Well, but it's so much more. It's so much this. Person does podcast marketing. Well, but we do this unique thing. We do this. It's like, what do people say? Okay. So 1 to 3 words is the challenge, is the target here. And sometimes it takes a little bit of refinement, but we'll go into breakout rooms to speak this out. Okay. And if you need to take a screenshot of this, you're welcome to, as an example. This is currently what I have in the directory. And this is what's been super helpful for me to remember what people do and make referrals. And There we go. We got branding, web design. Nice, very clear. Fantastic. Fractional CFO from Kristen, CPA finances. Yep, very nice. Very clear. Yep. Okay. And now as we go through this, then we can see how the style, be unique with how you do it. And again, we want to optimize this so that other people can talk about us. And if they, just my experience, like if it's more than 3, they start forgetting. However, it does give us space with the unique with how we do it to put some of those keywords in there as well. And I feel like it's fun because remember, keywords are literally opening doors in their minds. So let's actually we're going to have a journal minute or 2 here to start writing your keywords. And then we're going to go into breakout rooms where everybody has 4 minutes to share. So you'll be able to talk out your expertise in your style. Okay. So with this on the screen, I'm going to go ahead and share a little music here for our journal time. Personally, what I like, we'll see if anybody else is with me here. There's a third eye chakra, frequency on YouTube. And lately I just put that on while I want clarity or different things. And so I'm going to put this on here and we're going to give it a shot. Let's get this right here. And then we're going to share. There we go. Okay. So we'll do 2 minutes here of journaling on your keywords. So your expertise, your style, being boring with what you do, being unique with how you do it. Feel free to add questions.
You want to give us an example? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I can talk through it. So in my case, being boring with what I do, Sebastian does referrals. Yeah. And actually, yeah, I'll say like I'm speaking about somebody else. Yeah, he works with thought leaders. It's all about mission. He uses spiritual tools like soul contract, human design, all about systems, and he's had a track record of creating time freedom. That'd be an example, I would say. I can share with Ree, how I describe Ree, and I don't know if it's wrong or right, but it's, how I do as a fellow advocate. I think of branding. Anybody wants any help with branding? I think of Ree, and then I think, okay, are they connected spiritually? They have a depth of pure personal development. Spiritual capitalism is Ree's amazing mastermind group. So it's like, are they a business owner who's purpose driven and they understand like we got to create our own economies? And so those are keywords that I think of. Even rebranding is interesting because reinvention is something that comes up in Ree's work, especially as a purpose-driven, mission-driven, person. Reinvention comes up quite a bit as we expand into new layers. So I think of like reinvention, like boom, somebody's really going through that. It's like, and they fit all the criteria. You got to talk to Ree. Right.
Fashion.
Ree mentioned that it's extra poetic since Ree is in reinvention and rebranding. And so even at a soul level, your soul's on brand. Yeah. Okay. So we'll have 1 more minute here of writing down your keywords. Do 1 more person here, and then we'll get into breakout rooms. And let's go with somebody who is also here as well. Yeah, we'll just go with Dimitri. So Dimitri Kozlov, I think of personal branding websites, like top-notch, the best of the best, the best of the best, and for literally some of the biggest thought leaders on the planet. And so I think of somebody who's got a powerful brand, powerful mission, and like they want to be seen at a national, global level. and they really want to invest in their personal brand website as a home, as a mansion, as a headquarters for their online presence. And I think of Dimitri, and I also think of like spoken word and expression and truth. So if that's near and dear to their heart, where like this site is a window into my soul, I'm like, you got to talk to him, and he does spoken word, and you guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be fantastic. Right. So ideal client. So who do you serve best? Now that we're clear on being boring with what you do, with how you do it, let's see who you serve. And the fastest thing I found for this, to not go into overthinking land, to not go into fake land of, oh, I want to work with these people, or this would be nice. Let's go based on the real case studies. Because think about it, if we're going to refer somebody to a trusted friend, trusted client, we're going to go on the case studies that that person has. This person says, oh, I work with 9 million zillion figure entrepreneurs of whatever. It's like, okay, how many have you worked with? How many have you gotten results for? So with this, who are your top 2 client case studies that have gotten the easiest, fastest, and best results? Now, you love all your clients the same. However, objectively, who got the easiest results? Like, boom, they just got the method. It just happened. The fastest results, like from 0 to result, it was short. Best results. So they really expanded and they just opened up for them. So who are your top 2 client case studies is who I recommend writing down right now, and writing their name too. You don't need their last name, but their first name, because then this is so helpful, because in referrals, you just get more of them and you're making the impact that you want, making the money that you want, making the time freedom you want. Everything's peaceful because you got more of these type of clients. So that's what we want to build here. And as you have some time to write down here, I'll just share a few examples. And by the way, these are the guns in your holster. One of them. And I'd like to see there's probably a better, non-war analogy there, but for right now, we're going to roll with it. Because if you got case study number 1, case study number 2, you're firing, so and so. I'll just share some examples here. Brent Perkins launched his men's mastermind group, and in the first 90 days, he did over $55,000 in program sales. That's an example of off the top case study, this amount of time, this is what happened. And what I share with people is that I stopped believing in testimonials a long time ago, because anybody can say something nice about me or anybody. However, the case study, the truth, the results, what happened, what amount of time, is something that is the truth. And so Reese says, congrats, Brent. And what I invite you to do is really think about that person. Think about that person. What are they like? How do you feel around them? Because we want more of them, okay? And we'll continue here because we'll have some time to workshop this, which is then your credibility bullet points. 2 to 3 credibility bullet points to clearly communicate why people should respect your expertise. And what I find is that everyone here is too damn humble. And I say that with love because I know what everybody has accomplished here. I know the stats, that are going through my mind. Yet when people introduce themselves, they're like, oh, I got to do this and do that. And it's like, okay, that was like a 10-figure business, but yeah, you just kind of did that. And so I think it's part of our, the journey that we've gone through our highs, we've gone through our lows. And so we've come to this point of being, heart-centered leaders. And what I find is so important for referrals that we just have bullet points on the respect. And that's what I see it, is that people won't give you the respect that you've earned if they don't know. And even people who've known you for a long time, people forget. And so this solves the problem of A, not being respected at all, or B, someone says, what do you do? And then you go, well, I've done this and 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 I've done this. And you kind of black out for a bit. I've done this. And then 10 minutes later, you're done with your rap sheet of what you've accomplished. And by that time, the person, kind of fell asleep. So the middle ground of this is, what are those punchy 2 to 3 bullet points that get respect? So for example, with mine, I have the mission right away. So uniting thought leaders to help USA be #1 in wealth and health. 8-year mastermind leader, generated over $15 million for clients with passive income systems. What are your versions? Here's a few examples that I have. So this really came together when I was interviewing people for my podcast. And here's some of the dream team members that were featured. And I'm like, these people are amazing. I want everybody else to know how amazing they are. And so I'm going to make sure that we lead with it, because it's not just an average interview. Yannick Silver, I'm like, over 20 million generated through referrals alone. Boom. Ree Perez, brand consultant for over 1,000 brands. And those are 7, 8, and 9-figure brands. Okay. So when he talks about branding, spiritual capitalism, it's like he knows a thing or two or 1,000, in my opinion. Kylie Slavic, over 50 million generated in sales through story marketing. Alex Moscow, clients have sold over 75 million from stage. Wendy Freeman, over 15 years of event planning experience. Amy Collette, over 40 authors published. So here's a few examples of what to find for you. And you might just get this right away. That's great. It might take some thinking, refining, and like workshopping. That's okay. That's why we have each other, to test this out and let each other know, like, what landed for you between these two more. And you can notice what lights people up, or they go, oh, wow. They give the, oh, wow face. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of time here to write down, what are those bullet points for you? Say 2 to 3 would be the goal. Any more than 3, I find that people just start tuning out. They get that little kind of glazed look over their eyes and they don't remember it. In my experience, Sage Polaris, over 475 copywriting projects, should actually higher now than that. Millions of dollars generated for clients. And so with this, what I feel like is, what was easier for me might be the case for you. It was easier for me if I just imagined I was talking about a really good friend of mine. And that really good friend of mine was me. And I'm like, how would I talk about somebody that I really cared, respected, loved, and valued? Because when I was just thinking about myself, like, it wasn't as clear. But when I got out of myself, it started coming in. So for you, if you were talking about, your really good friend, Robin Colucci, how would you talk about her? Your really good friend, Tim Wolf, how would you talk about him? His experience of, multiple 7-figure launches, being behind the scenes tech systems, automations. And so we'll have a little time here to continue to journal, and then we'll get into breakout rooms to share here. We'll do that little clarity. Here, clarity frequency here. Certain things is, how many years of experience do you have? Clients that you've worked with, money generated, businesses worked with. It makes sense. You could even throw a client case study in there. A couple minutes here to just let those thoughts flow, let them go. All right, and when you have yours, you feel like you got something to roll, you can put it in the Zoom chat. It's up to you. You can say got it. You can copy and paste those in there. Start letting people know what you have. And we'll get into our next round of breakout rooms here. We're going to do 3 minutes each. 3 minutes each. So sharing your credibility bullet points and your ideal client. So ideal client and credibility bullet points. Go ahead and go right now. 3, 2, 1. And if you have 2 people in a room, then you just have extra time to go deep with each other. And Reed just came in. He said, "Hey, Sebastian, I just sent you a referral before this call." So, I mean, proof is in the pudding. Weekly referrals flowing, and that's what I probably should have led with. Everybody is. I know for me, when I started getting weekly referrals, high quality people, it's just a deeper level of peace. I've said it. It's just like running paid ads where you have, opportunities flowing, and that started flowing with weekly referrals for myself. Like, oh man, peace, peace. So that's what I want for everybody here. So let's bring it home to our last piece here, which is you're clear on what you do, you're clear on how you do it, and the credibility is backing you up of why people should respect you and work with you. And so now, what is that next step for them to take with you, take with us? And as in the beginning, this is what solves the problem of people knowing and loving you, but like the referral doesn't happen. So a free gift, simple as it is, a free gift, a free session, free call, free group, free quiz, free item, free assessment, whatever it is for you, what's the gift? And that the gift language is so precisely chosen here, is that it's not a lead magnet. It's not even a freebie. It's not a whatever, it's a gift. Because if it doesn't feel like a gift, why would people share it with their friends? Hey, friend that I've known for 7 years and you're really dear to me, here's a link to this e-report, that you can go do. No, it's like, here's a gift. I want to introduce you to this person, a 3-way introduction. And if you take them up on their gift, like, it's super valuable. So here's an example, quite a few examples actually. So we have XYZ strategy call, an assessment, a blueprint, a session. Now, naming it is so important because if it's a 1-hour introductory meeting, do we think referrals are going to flow with that? Do we think someone's gonna be excited to say, hey, go meet Sebastian, you're gonna have a 1-hour introductory meeting with him? They're like, pass, pass, pass. So naming it, and that's where you can test it out. And the same thing here, what hits, what fits, what lands with people, what lights them up. That's really the thing. It's like, we don't need to overcomplicate it. If we say it's an XYZ, assessment, and people go, oh, we got something there, okay? And free tickets, like in my example, I've done, what I'm doing right now is a free ticket to our dream team, next dream team call for people who qualify and our mission values aligned. So like very clear on all the fronts, otherwise it's just a no. And when you got weekly referrals flowing to you, it's a lot easier to say no with love. No need to bend backwards on our standards. What I've done in the past when I was really focusing on mastermind groups was a mastermind launch strategy session. So let's map out how to add an extra 100K plus to your business with your own mastermind group over the next year. So what is that strategy session? And that's where we dial in the name and we dial in the tagline as you test it in conversations. And just find what works for you. And if people are going, oh, that's amazing, can I sign up? Or like, can we book a call? Or can I do this? If you're getting that, it's working. If you're not getting that, it's not working. And that's okay. Just keep finding and refining. And what I love about this is that when you have it, you have it. Donald Miller of Building a Story Brand talks about having your hit song or hit songs. And I believe this is part of it too. It's like when you have your strategy session, it's your hit song. So just keep playing that song, keep playing that song. And people keep coming to it. Okay. So having a little time here on your session, with Andrew, YouTube, organic, if there's a organic YouTube assessment that can be done, like, oh, that's amazing. And make sure it's the, qualifier of it, but like, yeah, assess the YouTube channel. Dimitri, expression and personal branding. I'm sure you've got a checklist of like what makes a personal branding website powerful or a company brand powerful.
I don't, but that's a great idea.
Oh, okay, there we go. And yeah, let's flow. What else we got here? Doug Crow. I just wrote some welcome posts recently and last week, so this is top of mind with people. So what comes to mind with Doug is like a high caliber relationship strategy session. So who in your niche is the high caliber relationship that will 10x your business or massively open up your doors? And Doug has many contacts in the Inc. 5000. And so when it comes to high level executives that are normally untouchable, unreachable by any other medium, they're not hopping on a webinar or opting into a lead magnet. Doug's got a way to form a relationship with them in a purpose-driven way. And so that type of session, getting an assessment is who is those high caliber relationships in my niche that would, 10x my business, and how can I create a win-win relationship with them? That type of assessment, I would feel excited about referring, because then, boom, that's an amazing gift. So with our timing here, let's have a few moments of writing down, what is your session? What is your free ticket? Or what is your assessment or blueprint? How can you dial in that tagline? And what I love about this too is as we test it out with each other, the marketing fluff goes away. The marketing lingo goes away. The chat GPT, so fluffy and markety, it goes away. Because as we're testing it out, it's like we catch ourselves, we're like, oh, I don't like how that felt. Or person just glazed over when I spoke to them like I was, writing a sales letter. And Dmitry Koslov says creative clarity consult. So brand and website strategy session. Okay. Let's test these out and let's get feedback from each other. So let's go ahead and bring it home with our one action step here. So in our community area, we have your name. So what I recommend is going here to put in parentheses your expertise, because otherwise referrals are much slower, I find, because otherwise it takes so much time for people to remember what you do, how many conversations, how many touch points do they need to remember that. So I just put the link in the chat right now, dreamteamnetwork.ai/login. So you'll go into there and you'll go to your profile, which is in the top right-hand corner. Go to manage your account and profile. And then you have in your full name, you've got where you can put parentheses. So the work that we've done, those 1 to 3 words, that comes into play here. And so when people see you engaging in the community, what do they see? They see your keywords flash, your keywords flash, your keywords flash. And yeah, my lead generation experience is from SEO. So it's kind of funny, like it's come full circle in so many ways, because that's literally how you rank in Google, is the right keywords. And so with us, with people, I find we're very similar in that way of what's got the most mind share for us. And so I think of Mike Liguri, I think of podcast agency, Amy Collette, book writing. And so going ahead and putting that in there. would be great. And then what you'll notice as you scroll down is that you can put your email there. Now, if you want your email to be listed, just go ahead and click that button, publicly visible. That just means within our group. It's not going to be posted anywhere. It's just within our password protected area is where your email will show. If you don't want to, that's okay. It's up to you. Then, you just make sure that's toggled off. And so that will show up in the community area, which I'll go to right now. Go ahead and share this here while everybody's getting that typed in. And of course, you can always update it. But then in the members area, you'll start seeing, boom, look at that. Refresh it. Andrew Murdoch, YouTube for Business. Clear. Okay. And it's up to you. So with your bio, find what works for you. Maybe you want to put your free gift in there. That's what I've been testing out. I think usually I'm like way at the bottom. Come on, there we go. Yeah, gift, free ticket to our next Dream Team call for friends you refer that fit with our mission and values. So if we know everybody's expertise here and we know their free gift, boom, we got everything here. And if they have their email showing, then you can email there or private message over here as well. And so that's what I recommend doing right now while it's fresh, top of mind. And that way it can be easier to refer to you. And so now we'll just bring it home then for the journey that we've covered today. And this will be in the members area. So we covered the expertise and style. We covered your ideal client and credibility, covered your free gift and updating your profile so you can be as referable as possible. Okay, so as easy to refer as possible. And this has been module 1 in our 3-part workshop series. Next module will be Allies Leverage Your Network so that we can start putting all this information together into a database that we can reference. And hint, hint, Tim and I are working on a referral bot that we can plug into the directory that we create. And then we can use that bot to see who's good referrals for each other. And so that's been maximize your referrals so you can become highly referable and create long-term alliances so you can have a steady stream of high quality referrals every week.